Hi there. Now it's time to ice a cake American style, although I'm going to use a European fill, so we're going to have a little fusion going here of cuisines. First thing I'm going to do is put my cake on a turntable and holding a cake knife, which is serrated as level as possible. I am aiming at dividing this cake horizontally into two equal parts. Now this cake is a banana cake, very, very moist, and has lots of butter in it, and it's very cold because I don't want a lot of crumbs. So here we go. I'm following, turning, keeping the knife level as possible, and here we go. We have two pieces. Okay, I'm now going to move this over to the cooling rack, and this is layer number one. So I have the turntable, I have the cake on a 10-inch board. This is a 10-inch cake, and I am going to use now my Italian meringue, and we're going to fill the cake first, and I use an offset spatula and turning the cake like this. I use mostly the front edge of the cake and just turn and level motion, spreading it almost to the edge. But we're gonna fill it, and we don't have to. We're just trying to balance out in this case the amount of cake with the icing. Okay, I'm going to put this on here like this, and I'm going to put this over here. That's interesting. Turn this over because this is going to be the bottom, and I'm getting this ready. Here I'm going to put this over here like this. Here. Offset spatula again. Turning. Okay. And what I'm doing, I'm also wanting to make sure that I've assembled this relatively evenly here before we get started. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit more icing here. Right. And now what was the bottom of the second cake is now the top. Now we're going to start icing the cake, but I'm looking here at some of the uneven edges, and this happens periodically, you know, when you're icing large cakes, and it's nice that it happens so that I can show you how to even this out a little bit. So we don't want anything sticking out, protruding out too far, so we're just going to get rid of this. And we want to have a nice smooth side, and so if you have any cake that protrudes out, sometimes that makes it difficult. So we're going to fix that. Okay, a little bit more right here. And when you're using the cake boards for your icing here, you want to have a little you want to have a border around. You don't want your cake to come even to the board, the outside of the board, because you won't have enough space to make a really nice smooth side. First thing we're going to do now is take a spatula, and we're going to use the cake board as our guide, and we're going to put our icing along here and keep using the cake board. And what I'm doing also is trying to create a rim above the cake. This part right here, this comes up above the cake so that I can create a nice edge when I'm finished on the top. So the characteristics of an American style is that the cake is fairly high. It actually could even be higher than this. It can be 4.5, sometimes 5 inches high. You see those in the restaurants. And we have a 90-degree edge at the top. So that's different than European cakes, which are sometimes curved at the top. They're soft. So here we're going around and around, again using the cardboard as a guide. And if you see little crumbs coming here, you want to get those out of the way. And keep going. Now the spatula that I'm using, this is, I call it a straight spatula. This one is about 1.5 inches wide. It's most of them are about 1 inch. I like a wider one. It seems to go on, covers more surface area, and it seems easier to work with for me. And so I like to tell all of my students about that. All right, and you can see how nicely and easily the Italian meringue goes on this cake. Now we're putting it thickly on. We're going to be taking some of this icing off, so not to be too nervous about that. And a lot of people that don't like buttercream like Italian meringue icing because of its lightness. It's similar to whipped cream. Okay, so we have this done. And then with my offset spatula, we're going to take and fill the top just to the edge without disturbing the edge that I put on there. Alrighty. You just do that. Again, you're just using the front part of the spatula. Okay. All right, now, you know, America's the place of plenty, but we don't need all this icing on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bench scraper and we're going to angle out lightly, and we're going to touch the edge of the cardboard, and we're going to turn. We're going to start smoothing out. And what I can see based on the edge here is that this actually needs just a little bit more icing, so I can come up with a straight side, because the American cakes have straight sides. So we're going to take some of this off here. So I'm actually going to add just a little bit more toward the top, and then we'll go for our smooth edge. Now this meringue buttercream has been made ahead of time. You can freeze it and reuse it, but it's very airy. So we're going to see if we can get rid of most of the air holes. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we've added some more over there, and now we're going to see if we can smooth this. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm keeping the scraper in one spot while I'm just turning. Okay, we're going to now angle it a little bit more in, just lightly. I'm not pressing hard. So I'm going around. Okay, so we'll take a look at that. And it looks like it still needs a little bit more icing, which is okay up here. We'll just get that right there. Okay, we just want to make sure we have enough. Okay, so I'm going to go one more round, just lightly. Okay, now see some crumbs. Now I'm going to go the other way and see if I can get rid of some of these air bubbles now. Okay, so there we go here. And then we're going to level. So we take our level and we start taking this off a little at a time, kind of shaving it off. You don't want to angle like this. You want to keep it straight. So we're just, okay. Always keep your offset cream free when you're doing this so that you can get this. Okay, we're just taking more and more off as we go. And I'm going always toward myself like this, little bit by bit. I'm just kind of coming up, just kind of flying toward myself here. Very light, don't press hard. Now I do see some little areas here where we're just going to fill in here. Okay. All right. A lot of air bubbles here. We're going to figure out what to do with those. Now it's always a really good idea to use cold cake when you're doing this, because this helps the butter set. Well, now what I have here is a little piece of tape because I didn't want this to be sliding off this cake plate. So I pick this up. A lot of people are nervous about this cake. This cake is heavy. We have a banana cake in here that's somewhat like a pound cake. And before, of course, you put this down, you want to make sure that it's centered pretty well because the tape is going to hold it fast. And then we take our spatula. We don't want fingerprints, so I have put this down. I put the spatula underneath, and I lift my hands off, and there we have it.